Legends Tour are back in southern Spain for the final event of the season on European soil, and we're at one of the best known golfing resorts in the world, La Manga Club. Hello and welcome to the Farmfoods European Senior Masters here at La Manga with tournament host Peter Baker. Now, La Manga is a welcome stop for the players with some winter sun and a spectacular South Championship layout. With 3 events remaining, it is all to play for. Last year's winner was Patrick Scholand.
That win came a lot faster than I expected, but it boosted me up on the order of merit, and then I had a good finish at the last tournament in Mauritius as well. So I was really happy and couldn't really expect that much of last year as my first year on the Legends Tour. It's a nice course, nice fun course to play, and it's going to be a lot about spin control on your second shots into the greens because the greens are soft.
This course, tends to suit me a bit. It's not such a long golf course, and the wind seems to be come up a little bit, and that suits my ball flight. I normally hit the ball already quite low, but yeah, this week it looks like it's going to be fun as the sun is up, so everything is good.
Five par fives, they're all reachable this week. It can be quite aggressive. I think a little bit of extra distance will help there. It's quite soft, so it's not like you're going to run into trouble. Everything's going to be widened a little bit. The fairways, all the pins are going to be, you can go at all the flags, so aggression.
Last time out, there was another first-time winner on tour in Italy when Thomas Gugli lifted the trophy. The German player triumphed by 3 shots to win the Sergio Melpigano Senior Italian Open.
Well, obviously it's great to win. It's pretty much a dream come true. I only won on the Challenge Tour in 1995 maybe, so almost 30 years ago. And beating all the lads, it's great. I played very well, I'm very happy.
Thomas's win moved him inside the top 10 on the MCB Road to Mauritius. It is still Adelson de Silva in the top spot, and with 3 events left, he'll be hard to catch. Last year's MCB Road to Mauritius #1, Peter Baker, is our tournament host this week in La Manga, and I caught up with him at the beginning of the week to see how he feels. Hello,
Hi,
Peter.
Rachel.
Oh, beauty.
How are you? Oh, yeah, lovely. Yeah, nice to see you.
Should we have a little walk and talk?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go. I'll caddy.
Very good of you.
Peter, I hope I'm on the payroll.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
It's great to be back here with you. This is your 3rd year as tournament host. How much of a privilege is that role?
It is, yeah, very much a privilege. Yeah, it's nice to be asked to do it, and obviously coming back to La Manga is great. A lot of history to La Manga, and it's great to see the guys supporting the event.
Now, let's talk about the course, the South course, the Championship course. What sort of strategy and game do you need?
I think that it's a variety of holes. Some holes where it's a little bit wider off the tee and you can have a go and attack the par 5s, and then you've got holes like the 10th here, which is very tight, and you've got to keep the ball in play. So it's a mixture really, and I think if you can hit it good off the tee, that really sets you up to attack the flags.
Now, Peter, you've said your record in Spain hasn't been great, but you had a tied 3rd, and then you lost in a playoff against Adilson this year. What's it going to take to catch this man?
It's going to be difficult. Obviously, Adilson's such a good player and so steady. It's going to be tough to beat him. He's quite a way ahead, and you have to have a great finish to sort of catch him. He's so consistent, and he's a great player. So it's going to be difficult. Hopefully, I can sort of stretch it towards the end and get to Mauritius, but that itself is going to be difficult.
That's what we all want to see. A good finish to the season. I'm going to leave this for Helen. Good luck this week.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Rachel. Thank you.
Coming up later in the show, defending champion Patrick Scholand talks us through his wedge game, and Paul Lawrie looks back to his win and giving back to the game. First of all, though, let's get back to the early rounds action with your commentary team of Warren Humphreys and, first of all, Michael McMillan.
Thanks, Rachel. Great to be back at La Manga, a venue which has been part of the global tournament golf scene for half a century now. And we begin with the tournament host. Peter Baker's tee shot here at the short 5th set him up for birdie. 71 was a disappointing outcome for his first round, and the 73 which followed left him well out of contention.
With 29 pars in the first 36 holes, Patrick Sherlin has made more pars than anyone else in the field. But this birdie on the 15th in round 2 helped the Swede shoot a 69 and a 5 under par tally after 2 rounds.
Thomas Gurgler started with a 70, so he could still be a back-to-back winner, but only if he went low the next day. Birdie on 8 helped, but the German was rounding 71 and now in need of something miraculous. Adilson de Silva made up much ground by finishing the back 9 with 3 birdies in the last 4, a run he completed with a 4 here on 18. And by following his 71 with 65, he moved firmly into the picture.
Possibly the shot of the day for Jose Caceres came at the par 5 9th. How about this for a fine piece of escapology and a birdie no less? A pair of 68 seats the Argentine player 2 off the pace at 10 under, perhaps with a little bit of help from the golfing gods.
More than 2 years on from his last win, Philip Price made a very strong start. Eagle here at the 9th was the clear highlight of an opening 65, 8 under, bogey-free, and only a shot off the lead. There were a couple of dropped shots in round 2, but 5 birdies as well, including here on 18. And 70 meant the Welshman ended the day, as he started it, just 1 behind.
It's not been an easy start for Englishman Simon Griffiths in his senior tour career, narrowly missing his card for both the Legends Tour and the Champions Tour. So he had no tour to play in 2023, and a wrist injury at the start of the season held him back. But with a lot of hard work, he's fought his way to the top of the leaderboard this week following rounds of 64 and 70, helped by 3 eagles over the 2 days, one coming here at par 5 6 after that monster putt, and now clearly on top form.
Yes, and it's Griffiths, so consistent of late, who takes a 1-shot lead over Price into the last 18, but with half a dozen others just 1 further back, this one is wide open. It's a day of so much opportunity for so many players, including Adilson de Silva in his pursuit of finishing the season at number 1, but none more so than Simon Griffiths, as he looks to finally turn all the good golf he's played in recent months into a breakthrough win on the Legends Tour.
Final day here at La Manga, and boy, the conditions are tougher and it's tight at the top of the leaderboard. Simon Griffiths leads by 1 and he's hunting down his maiden win on the Legends Tour. It's going to be a fantastic final day with 9 players, all within 3 of the leader. It's all to play for.
And as play gets underway, it was the smooth, swinging Brazilian Adilson de Silva who got off to the perfect start following this iron shot to the first, an opening birdie, but he did bogey the second to get the shot back.
After a couple of pars to start, Van Phillips got things moving with birdie at the 3rd, and he continued to build momentum with a wonderful approach to the long 4th, setting up another birdie, which got him to 11 under. The final trio are just getting started, so tell us what faces them on the opening hole, Warren.
Oh, it's a pretty demanding opening hole, 414 yards, and you can see there is water down the right-hand side, bunker there over on the left, and the pin today on this final round protected by the bunker down the right-hand side. So aim it down the left, keep it away from the water. That will be what Griffiths is aiming to do. Hovering the club head above the ball. Makes him have a nice gentle start and plenty of club head speed there, well over the 100 miles an hour, and that's why he's popped it out there just a little over 270 yards.
Such a big day in his career. It's got to help, of course, that he's been up near the top of so many leaderboards this year. Now, Jose Caceres, one of the most accomplished players in this field, 2-time winner on the PGA Tour in the States over 20 years ago now. Par at the 1st. And that's his tee shot at the 2nd. As we return to the leader.
Bound to be a little nervous, Griffiths, but good tee shot. Perfect position here down that left side to open up the flag, and that's just what he wanted. Right over the top of the pin. That'll steady the nerves down, and a good chance for a birdie 3 on the opening hole.
Well, like Caceres, Philip Goulding is now among the over 60s. He's parred the first today. Looking to be one of the oldest ever winners on this tour. Ooh, and that'll help Warren.
Yeah, a couple of delightful shots in there too. Quite a tough pin. Now, Canonica's been in a little bit of trouble here on the opening hole, so having to play a bit of a pitch and putt to try and save his par, and he's given himself plenty to do. Would have hoped to have got that a little closer.
Now Caceres looking for a positive start to his day. Twice a winner on this tour. He may well be a winner again today if he keeps going like that. Caceres to 11 under early on. Looking like he means business.
He looks happy, doesn't he? And why wouldn't you? Now, opening hole for Philip Price, another man who's been in trouble. Very much an outside chance to try and save his par. And that's not the start the Welshman wanted. Bogey in the first hole.
Yeah, not really been the year he wanted, but it's had its moments. Now Goulding, can he get to 11?
Yeah, nicely struck. Green's not overly quick. They're under 10 on the stimp meter out here, so you've got to be a bit brave with the putter. Goulding certainly was there.
Van Phillips looking to continue that early momentum we talked about. He's birdied 3 and he's birdied 4.
181 yards on the card today. Whole play, how about that terrific shot. Green's pretty receptive, they're pretty wet holding. There's placing on the fairways for the players within a club length.
Now how valuable would this be? In the lead, big day in his career as we said. What a way this would be to start. Oh, and he gave it every chance.
Right, if you said to him on the first hole, would you take par at the first? I think he'd probably go, yeah. That'll be a nerve settler.
So Canonica finds himself on a real tester at the first to save his par. Oh, that's just a horrible way to open up his day as he continues the search for his first Legends Tour win.
So the two experienced men, Price and Canonica, making bogeys on the opening hole. Overnight leader makes par.
And we go forward to Phillips. Great chance here to complete a hat-trick of birdies.
And he's played the par threes very well this week. Not dropped a shot on them. Had a couple of birdies, so feeling confident on the short holes.
And the combination of that missed opportunity for Griffiths and the fine start from Phillips means we now have a tie at the top. And look at Thomas Gurgler. He birdied all of the first 5. Suddenly he's only 2 off the lead at La Manga. Welcome back to La Manga, already one of the most well-liked venues on the Legends Tour.
This is for us is the best tournament. We have the most important, the busiest week during the year. For 3 years in a row, we're hosting again the Legends Tour at home, and well, very happy.
Patrick Sjölund was happiest of all here 12 months ago as the Swede edged out Ricardo Gonzalez by a single stroke for his first Legends Tour win.
If you know how to win round here, you know how to pitch. So we'd like you to talk us through pitching, technique, and what you're trying to do with this specific shot. We've got 82 metres, which is 90 yards.
Correct.
So go on, Patrick, talk us through.
All right. I normally never hit a full wedge shot. Try to hit 3/4, get the flight down a little bit so I don't get that spin.
In terms of setup, you know, what do you go for with ball position?
Well, it's pretty standard, I would say, pretty much in the middle of the stance, and I always try to go a little bit down on the grip as well to get the ball flight down. If I hit a full shot, I have, of course, a little bit further up, but for this, which is sort of just out of reach with my lob wedge, which I hit about full 80 meters, but I try not to hit it more than 75 meters. But this is 82 meters, so I'm gonna go with my 54, which I normally hit like 95 meters. So I'm gonna go down the grip here, make like a 3/4 swing, and sort of get the ball flight down and hopefully get it a few meters past the hole and get it to come back. So it's going to be like a half shot with my 54. I also take a slightly open stance for this as I take a little bit of distance off it.
And the course is soft this week, so
it is very soft.
we're going to have to control spin out here. How do you do that?
Well, I try not to hit too hard. Try to hit it a little softer. Take an extra club, of course.
Okay, caddy. So you go grip down,
Grip
open
down.
stance,
Yeah,
lead arm parallel.
yeah. That's probably the perfect club for that.
That's perfect. Do
Yeah.
I get the job?
Not too much spin. You're hired. I think I want to try to hit this one and bring it in a little bit from the left. And
Left to right, hold on up.
yeah,
Come on then,
well,
let's see that one.
yeah, let's see if we
It's
can
another
get...
great tip for everyone at home, seeing the shot you want to play. It's coming.
some spin on that maybe.
Oh, amazing. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Play well.
Thanks.
Back to the final round action, which has begun in mixed fashion for Adilson de Silva. A birdie bogey start, followed by 3 straight pars, then a confident putt for 4 at the long 6th, getting him under par for the day.
After the bogey at his opening hole, Emmanuel Canonica recovered perfectly after some excellent iron play, birdieing 3 of the next 5 holes as he moved on to 12 under par.
One of the fastest starters was Jose Caceres. His first move had been a 2 at the short second, followed by further birdies at the 3rd, and here at the 4th. They love a hat-trick in Argentina.
It's not all about power with Scotty Hend, it's accuracy too, as this near-perfect shot proves at the par 3 5th. Not far from an ace as the Aussie gets to 12 under par.
Hend then parred 6 and 7, and by judging the weight perfectly on this putt at the 8th, Hend picked up another shot before going on to birdie the next as well, getting him out in 33.
And moving along serenely is our overnight leader Griffiths, with a birdie at the par 5 4th, and here at the 7th following another towering iron shot.
Van Philip's early charge had swept him to a 4th straight birdie on 6, and 2 holes later, he was at it again. Phillips now 5 under for his round, so he joins Griffiths and Hend at 14 under for the tournament. Caceres' round has calmed down a bit, but a run of 4 successive pars leaves him only 1 off the lead. De Silva's found another birdie right at the end of his front 9, and with 7 birdies already today, Thomas Gurgler is still in this. Tell us about number 8, Warren.
Well, it's a really good birdie opportunity. It's under 400 yards, 393. A reasonably tight tee shot, but you can see here Canonica out with the 3-wood. Doesn't need all his power here.
Tied 8th in his home country last time out, his 2nd top 10 this season.
Aiming it down the right, drawing it in. And as you would expect, plenty of club head speed for the Italian. 105 there. Carrying that 3-wood 250.
Back to Caceres. As I said, it's been a run of pars since that fast start, but he'd love a par from this spot.
Sure.
Oh, it looks as though he's going to get it. He will have that to be out in 34.
Ball a little bit above the feet here for Canonica as he plays the pitch to the 8th. And just allowing for a little bit of draw. Didn't quite get it all the way back there, but not a bad shot.
Philip Golding did have a bad shot off the tee at 9. He's had another one from a greenside bunker. He needs this for a bogey. And if you can have a good 6, Warren, maybe we've just seen one.
Absolutely, anytime you have to knock it in for a The 6, you're doing well, you're having to dig deep. Griffiths now with his pitch to the 8th as well. Again, ball just a tad above his feet. And he's got it all the way back there, right down the flagstick too. Excellent shot.
Yeah, he didn't get off to a great start this season, Griffiths. Best in his first 4 events was a share of 20th, but he's really picked it up since then, as we see Caceres complete his up and down.
Well, Canoric in the end, a little bit further away than I first thought. So putt up the hill, needs to be bowled. I don't think that came quite out the middle of the putter face, so he's got a little bit of work to do to save par.
Van Phillips has already been a winner on the Legends Tour this year for the first time in Germany, matching his total of wins from the regular tour. He was champion in Portugal a quarter of a century ago. Only great players win that tournament, Warren.
Oh, absolutely. Agree with you there. Totally. Gritty competitor, though, Van Phillips. Always a tough man to beat.
Yeah, Warren, the champion of the Portuguese Open 40 years ago next year. Now, is this man going to be champion today?
Well, that was a great opportunity. Made so many birdies on that first day for the opening 64. You'd think he might have at least hit the hole there, but he's spurned the opportunity. Konica then for his par. Straight and firm. Ooh, and it was neither. That's a shot given away for Canonica. That's a very costly 3-putt for the Italian.
Yeah, was getting some momentum going with his run of 3 birdies in 4 holes. And he surrendered some of it there.
Phillips for his birdie try at the 10th. Look at the amount of borrow on that putt. So extremely well judged. Have to get pace and line absolutely spot on to knock those in.
For Griffiths, it would be a tense conclusion to the front 9. Still short of the green in 3, a first bogey of the day loomed large as a prospect, but a fine chip under pressure meant par was secured.
Here at the 12th, the par 3, Van Phillips has a chance to make his 7th birdie of the day and move 2 clear, but that was not his boldest putt. So he'll have to settle for a par.
All of which means that Van Phillips' lead stays at a single stroke. Hend has started for home with bogey on 10, so Griffiths is now in second place alone.
Fantastic ball striking from the players despite the wind, and with an ever-changing leaderboard, it's going to be hard to separate them.
Two years ago at La Manga, Paul Lawrie claimed the 3rd and most recent of his Legends Tour wins.
Oh, welcome back.
Thank you.
Past champion here. How great is it to return to La Manga?
Yeah, it's always nice to go back to tournaments that you've done well in and tournaments that you've maybe won or even done well. As soon as you drive in, you kind of remember shots that you hit or things that happened when you won.
And let's talk about that win. You had a bogey-free 65 to finish and then you won in a playoff. You know, why was your game so great that week to get the W?
Well, the first 2 days I played really well and putted really poorly. Couldn't get the ball in the hole at all. And I was struggling to get the ball rolling. So I thought, right, if I go to cross hands, it'll kind of help me out. And then putted magnificence. I mean, really did putt well and then won in a playoff, like you say. So a little bit unexpected because I was quite well out of it after 2 rounds. But, you know, never say never. You never know what's going to happen.
You know, in golf, you never know. You've got the Paul Lawrie Foundation and you're a big advocate of giving back to the game. We do that also on the Legends Tour in Zambia, and you did a clinic in Hambury.
Yeah.
How great was it to be involved at that?
Yeah, it's cool. It's nice when they ask you to do things like that because obviously at one point in time I was one of those little kids running about trying to sort of be a golfer or try and enjoy the game. So it's important that we all try and give back and grow the game. Some people are better at it than others. Some people would like to see do a bit more who are sort of big stars and they've got the name and people would kids would look up to them to play golf. But I mean, obviously they're busy, they do other things. But I've always been one that has wanted to do it, has enjoyed doing it. And I had 2 boys who played a lot of golf when they were young. So my wife and I were always active and taking them to things and trying to kind of get them into the game and get them playing. So that's where the kind of foundation come from, really, is we had the 2 boys. There wasn't an awful lot on, I didn't think, in the area. And we thought, right, we're going to put that right by doing our own foundation.
Paul, thank you so much. Enjoy
Pleasure.
this week.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, remarkably, Laurie was in last place after a first round 77, but he responded admirably by shooting 69, then had an exceptionally eventful final round. 3 bogeys, a double and a triple, but also 5 birdies, including this one at the 13th. It all added up to 76 for the man who walked off with the game's oldest major a quarter of a century ago.
It's a story of 2 halves for Peter Baker this week. 10 under par for the front 9 and 3 over par for the back 9. And despite a final round of 68, he finishes tied 24th for his efforts.
Final round momentum never really arrived for Patrick Sjöland. Level for the day when he got to the 17th, where this tee shot set up a safe par. But Sjöland bogeyed the last for a 74 to end his title defence at 4 under.
Hottest man out on the course, though, is German Thomas Gergler. Starting the round with 5 birdies on the bounce, he's added 3 more since then. And despite a bogey on the 12th and this bold effort at the 17th, he needs a birdie at the last for a 65 and an 8 under par score for the day.
After his 3 straight birdies early on, it all got a bit too steady for Jose Caceres. And by the time he had 2 putted from this position at the short 12th, that was 8 pars on the spin.
No birdie here at the 10th for Griffiths to get to 15 under, but he did take his chance at the next. So through 11, he's 3 under par for his round.
The long 13th brought a big chance for Van Phillips to make further progress, particularly after he had birdied it in both previous rounds. This time, though, it was just a par. And with Griffiths having made that 3 at the 11th, they're tied at the top on 15 under. Caceres sits 2 back while Henn trails by 3 after his second bogey in 3 holes at the 12th. Let's get out to 18 then, where Thomas Gergler, who's bogeyed this hole both days so far, has a chance to eagle it today, shoot 64 and get to within 1 of the lead.
Oh, and he still left himself a little bit to do there. I think it was tracking, but he's still got a birdie putt.
Keith Horn, who's had his first Legends Tour win this year, came in Zambia in August.
Very popular man on the tour, Keith Horn. Always very chirpy. And that's a pretty good shot. As we go back to Thomas Gergler and this birdie at the last for his round of 65. Well done, Thomas. That's excellent play.
Yeah, made up for the first putt. Started his day with 5 straight birdies. Doesn't look like it's going to be back-to-back wins, but it continues the good vibes for the German.
As we take a look at the par 3 12th, 154 yards on the card, but today only playing 141, so a little shorter for the players as Griffiths takes dead aim. Been playing these short irons particularly well so far this week. And that's another shot right over the top of the flag. He really has been honed in with his irons this week.
Yeah, looking to win, wire to wire. He's been out on his own at the end of both previous rounds. Back to Keith Horn, currently 10th in the MCB Road to Mauritius after a very consistent year to date. And with that, he makes a big move. That's an eagle, gets him to 12 under par.
Yeah, his 3rd eagle of the week. He likes those big old tweets. Good stuff from the South African. Now Canonica on 12.
Tied 5th in India, his best performance this season from 14 starts. There's a decent chance there to get to a dozen under.
Well, back on the 15th, Van Phillips in real trouble playing his 4th shot. Awkward lie, ball below his feet. Needing to get it up and down to make a bogey. Hasn't had a bogey since the 3rd hole in the 2nd round.
Yeah, he might not be too disappointed in the end. He was staring double in the face there. Now, Philip Price, whose best finish this year was a share of 4th at the Stay Shore PGA Seniors Championship. And he will have a tap in there for his par. So we get back to Caceres, who needs to try to get back some of that early fire.
How about that? Stopping it on a sixpence. Beautifully played, very confident. Van Phillips now does make the sand save, so it is a bogey, but he's done well there to recover.
He has indeed, but it does mean that Griffiths now has this chance to lead by 2.
Phillips early in the day had a similar putt to this. It's obviously fools them because he's left that a little bit short and wide, so obviously a bit tricky to read.
Canonica clearly has a liking for this course. He's playing well on it again. He was 6th here last year. Well, I think he'd be disappointed with that effort, really. It was a good tee shot. It doesn't glean any further progress. He stays 11 under.
Well, hopefully Caceres can pop this one for his birdie at the 13th. We can just wriggled in the left side. Certainly a little bit of movement with it, but once they're in, doffs his cap.
And now the prospect of a long-awaited 3rd Legends Tour win is a very real one for Caceres as he closes to within a shot of the lead. Par at 12, enough for Griffiths to go clear after a setback for Phillips at the 15th. The finish is next. It's the final round of the Farmfoods European Senior Masters at La Manga, where even at this late stage, several hopefuls will still feel they're in with a chance. Gary Evans started out just 2 behind, but he was already a couple over for the day by the time his first birdie came at the 14th. Another followed here at 17, and when he birdied the last as well, 72 left Evans poised to make the top 10. Any chance of David Shacklady winning was gone after he had played the first 5 holes in 3 over, but his finish was sensational. Birdies on 16 and 17, then this for eagle at the last. Back in 31, round in 70. Shacklady also set for a top 10 finish.
This excellent second shot to the par 5 13th for Canonica gave the Italian a wonderful opportunity for an eagle, but unfortunately he missed his chance and had to settle for a birdie. But he does move to 12 under par and further up the leaderboard.
After a couple of dropped shots early in the back 9, time had all but run out for Scott Hend. There was time though for a putt of the week contender. Sadly for the Australian though, it was just for par.
What a wonderful tee shot for Phillips down the last, and he leaves nothing behind as he blasts his second shot right at the flag, setting up an eagle finish. Absolutely fantastic shot.
And so the putt to follow was to go into the outright lead and set the target at 16 under. It'll be birdie on 18 for the 3rd day in a row, as Phillips shoots a second straight 67. Well, 15 under, be good enough.
Meanwhile, back on the par 5 13th, how about this for a confident pitch from the front of the green from Griffiths? Showing no signs of nerves whatsoever.
13 has been so good for Griffiths this week. Eagled it in both of the previous rounds. Birdie today puts him clear at the top again. Pars have followed at 14, at 15 and at 16, so barring something truly outrageous from one of the other hopefuls, 2 more pars will be enough to make Griffiths the champion.
Scott Hend at the 18th. Australian in prime position. Huge tee shot. He's just got a short medium iron in. And how about that, right over the top of the flag. Eagle opportunity coming up for him.
The opportunity of a lifetime coming up for Simon Griffiths over these last 2 holes, and that challenge begins here on 17, Warren.
And a beautiful par 3 it is, 190 yards on the card, but playing 10 yards shorter than that today in the final round, so just 180 as the players step up on the tee. First to go is Price.
He's still looking for his first birdie of the day. He's had 15 pars in a row now since that drop shot at the opening hole.
There's nothing much wrong with his long game. That's beautifully played right into the heart of the green. Some days you just can't buy a putt.
De Silva's got to keep battling all the way to the finish as he looks to top the MCB road to Mauritius for the first time, having been second in both of his previous seasons on the Legends Tour.
He's so steady. 15 birdies this week, 2 bogeys, all the rest pars.
Said earlier it wasn't a great start to the year for Griffiths, but that's only in relation to what followed. He had that great run in late summer where he was 6th, 5th and 4th in successive weeks. Then was 3rd, his best finish to date, last time out in Italy. So he's moving in the right direction. That's going to be a little tester for a much needed par.
A nasty little left-to-righter there for him. As we go ahead to Keith Horn, it's for an eagle here at the last.
For the 2nd day in a row it would be.
Oh, it was tracking too, wasn't it? Right in the jaws. You just hate that when you get the line right but don't hit it hard enough.
Yeah, a couple of early setbacks left him with it all to do in terms of trying to win today. But it should be his 5th top 10 of the season.
Canonica outside chance for a birdie here on the 17th. Oh, it's another one. Oh, if only he'd hit it just a fraction harder, might have held its line instead of dying away. Easiest tap-ins for the Italian, a man who's a wonderful cook. I know that because I was told by Costantino Rocca.
Aren't all Italians wonderful cooks? Scott Hend had 4 birdies in 6 coming up to the turn. Put him right in it. Bogey 10 and 12 though, left him needing a big closing stretch, which never threatened to happen. But it's another good week for Hend.
And it's another pretty good week too for De Silva as he taps in for his final birdie. Round of 70 to go with the 71 and 65 in previous rounds. He is Mr. Steady Eddie.
Yeah, probably needed something not too far away from yesterday's score if he was to have a chance of winning today. Now is Price finally on the penultimate green, going to get his first birdie of the day. Just about. The long wait is over.
Why couldn't I do that earlier? That's, you know, that's going on in the head. If only. Now this is a nasty little putt here for Griffiths to make. Inside the left edge. Ooh, well done, sir. Must have looked about 10 feet to him. I don't know about 3 feet. When you're going for your first win, everything looks tough.
It's been tough throughout the year for Jose Caceres, 2-time winner on the Legends Tour, but they were both more than 5 years ago now. His best finish this season has been 11th. He's going to better that. And that is the trophy that Simon Griffiths is a par away from getting his hands on.
Well, as par 5s go, the 18th is not particularly long for these players, 494 yards. But my goodness, you better be straight because there's water left and right. Plenty of bunkers too to tangle with. And unless you're in the right half of the fairway, you don't get a pretty good glimpse of the green. So an important tee shot for all these players.
Yeah, for Price, it's about trying to get his 4th top 10 finish of the year nailed down. Finished number 1 on this tour 5 years ago. And that will be exactly what he had in mind.
Interesting figures there for Price, but I wonder what the figures would show in terms of heartbeat here for Griffiths. Must find the fairway here on 18, and he looks very pleased with that. Confidently picks the peg up, and look at that pound down the fairway. That's gone a country mile.
Birdied it in both previous rounds. Doesn't even need to do as well as that today. Kanonika's last drive. Always been a big hitter, Warren.
Yes, led the DP World Tour stats for 3 years with this driver in hand. And he's belted that one way, way past everybody else. That'll almost be just a little flick in there to the green with him with the short iron.
But Ceres looking to finish off the day, which promised much early on, but just faded a bit. Was fast out of the traps with 3 birdies in the first 4. But if he makes that one, he will have played the rest of the course, remaining 14 in level par. Closing 70 for Jose Caceres. That's the first time he's going to be in the top 10 since this tournament a year ago.
Horses for courses, eh? Philip Price now out with an iron. Elegant swing. Really hasn't changed much over the years. Really good line to his game. And the shot gives him an eagle chance at the last.
This is it then for Griffiths. Never won on the regular tour. Best he ever did there was second in the China Open 16 years ago now.
Yes, a little hybrid here, aiming it down the left, trying to manoeuvre it a little bit left to right, and like he's done so often today, finding the heart of the green. That's beautifully done.
Now he can largely relax because he will have 3 putts from there.
All sorts of body action going on there for Canonica, but trying to bring it in from the right. It's going to be off the edge of the green, but it's all right.
Good crowds turning out for this final day. Second time the Legends Tour has been in Spain in 2024. And it looks like it's going to be a day to remember for Griffiths. How will he be feeling at this moment, having waited so long to taste victory at this sort of level?
Well, I bet you he'll still be edgy because it's never over until it's over. He'll be just trying to think, lay this one dead, don't try anything silly. And that's exactly what he's done. And now he knows, now he can relax and enjoy it. And he's played beautifully all week.
He's going to get through his final round without dropping a single shot. Can Canonica deliver the big finish? Oh, he was willing it in. Eagled it in the second round. Not quite today.
Peter Baker there out watching the players as they finish up here on 18th. Price now see if he can pop one in for an eagle. He's made scant birdies today. Go on, go on, go on. Yeah, just a little bit timid. The story of the day for Philip Price.
Yeah, he was only a shot off the lead after the first round. Same coming into today. But no birdies until the 17th. He finishes, though, with 2 in a row. Canonica was also right in the hunt as he teed off in this final round, but just hasn't really been able to keep up today. This should be the end of his week, though.
And as he taps in for that round of 70, leaves the way now for Griffiths to hold this little tiddler for his final birdie, his 5th birdie of the round. And how sweet victory will taste for him.
Yeah, great day in the life of Simon Griffiths. He's taken to the Legends Tour so well, so quickly, and he caps his first full season with a win in just his 14th career Legends Tour appearance. He's the champion in the Farmfoods European Senior Masters at La Manga. The only one of the title contenders not to drop a shot all day. It's a 2-shot margin over Phillips, while Hen takes 3rd. And the group sharing 4th includes Thomas Gugler after he shot the lowest round of the day. Some first-time wins come a bit out of nowhere. This was not one of them. It's the culmination of a couple of months of really good golf.
It's a tough day. I played lovely, missed a lot of putts and was getting very anxious there, but somehow managed to come out on top. It's been a tough year, you know, you just got to keep battling, you know. The last few years have been tough, but you just keep battling away, and yeah, here I am.
And where he is now is the top 10 of the MCB Road to Mauritius, vaulting 13 places to 9th. Third place here moves Scott End just a little closer to Adilson de Silva, with 2 events to go.
What a fantastic and emotional win for Simon here behind me. We'll see you next week for the WCM Mexico Senior Open.